I made Rico get off his games. I know that affects it over here.
Oh man. Okay, so first meeting and we go straight into it. What did you guys think?
I liked the start. I'm intrigued. I started reading that on Sunday after I read some Stephen King short stories. So it was like a big change, but it was a good change. I'm like, oh yeah, something lighthearted here. And I'm just curious to see what happens.
It was very saucy from the start.
Spicy.
I don't know why. I mean, I know they mentioned in the beginning that it's like they saw each other and then he drives away, like they don't see each other again. But I don't know why I feel like her emotions for that whole year, I'm like, you're exaggerating. There's no way. You were like,
Yeah.
I must be with this man, and she's looking with her friend for a year.
That's a lot, yeah.
Like, I know maybe people are like that, but I was like, this just seems so unrealistic. And I love these books, but it was like, no, this is insane, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, girl. I don't know.
Like, at least I thought they had had a conversation or they had had a few dates or like somehow before it's like, oh, the next time you see him, it's literally with your friend.
Well, the part that tripped me up too was like I read it pretty much in one sitting. I liked it, and then I was like, okay, what's gonna happen next? And then I read the back, and it said this book happens over 10 years. So I was like, whoa, like how long is she gonna be strung along, or what's gonna happen? Like that made it have like a different level of intrigue because I thought, I wasn't imagining much at the beginning. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna like by the end of this year or something, the book will be over, and we'll see who gets together with who. But then the fact that I realized after reading the first section that it's going to be over 10 years made it more angsty for sure. Back.
I think what's going to end up happening is she's really interested right now, and then she's going to fall out of love. She's going to be in a different relationship when that guy becomes available. He ends up falling for her, and it's just going to keep going back and forth like that until they finally like reach a time in life when it's like their turn.
At the end?
Yeah.
Maybe.
My prediction.
A slow burn.
That's a good prediction.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very angsty because it seems like they're okay being friends now. Like, seems like she and maybe even he are like okay with being friends because then they could access each other in some way. But what if all that time passes and in the end they just end up being just regular friends like they are right now? But with all the angst, it's gonna be too much.
I also feel like he's really like, for the most part, what we've gotten from him, he's been really, really into Sarah. So yeah. It's kind of hard because obviously you want to root for, or at least I want to root for Lori and him, but you can tell he has genuine feelings with, Sarah. So I don't want
He straight up says, I'm not attracted to her. She looks like a Robin. Is what he said. I was like, what does that even mean?
But see, that's the thing. I feel like he just kind of fell for both, and I think
he's in denial.
In the Grease little story scenario stuff, he was like, well, he's just very out there, and I felt like there was this one specific thing he said. So what's it that he was like, oh, she's very like fast paced, and it's becoming difficult for me to like catch up to her. So I feel like at some point their personalities, like sure right now it's okay, but at some point I think she's gonna be too much for him. And he's gonna want someone more mellow-ish like Lori.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because he keeps thinking about her throughout his portions of the text where we're seeing his point of view.
Yeah.
And then if Sarah ever finds out, which I'm sure she will because it seems like it's gonna, it takes a long time. I wonder like what will happen between the two girls too. Like, will it be a friend breakup or will they have distance and then come back together? Like maybe it's a friend breakup and then 2 years later, the couple didn't work out, and then they become united and become friends
Yeah.
because they seem to have such a strong bond right now.
But that's what's weird. It like, is Sarah really gonna be okay with him being in a relationship down the line? Like, that's kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
When she said like, this is my husband, like we're getting married. He's a sex god,
Mhm.
like this is my you know, like it's kind of hard for her to just ignore that or completely go 360 and be like, no, you can have him.
Yeah.
You know, like unless he does something really, really bad. But then do we really want Lori to be with him in that case? I don't know.
No.
Mhm.
Oh, she could be the one to do something back too. Huh. But even so, she still might not be okay with the other two getting together. I know this is skipping to the end, but what did you all think about when they're at the bar and he's like, no, I met you at the birthday party, but like not like he was dismissing the bus scene. I was like, oh no, that's tough.
I know. And then you can tell she's like, you know what? Ignore me. But then that's when I think he was like, oh, she's about to cry, or she started to cry, right?
Yes.
Ugh. And I feel like they both were just like, okay, fine, let's talk about it, but like, let's forget about it after. I'd be crushed. And I think maybe that's why the feelings probably stuck for, oh, I mean, we know it's going to be 10 years. So
Mhm.
she stayed there, not really like hoping to be together, but more like, well, I guess I'll have your company as a friend, even though I have deeper feelings, whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting that it intersected with a time of like family angst for her with her dad.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, maybe in the future, if the dad will pass away and then they'll see each other again at the funeral, like kind of like every summer after, right? When the mom died, and that's how they got back together or re-encountered each other. I feel like there's a lot of curiosities here.
I did have a question.
What's it?
Would you guys, when you see him and you know that he's the one from the bus, right? When he's the bus boy, would you tell your friend, be like, this is the guy? You know your friend is like super like in love with him, and she's over there like, he's my husband, he's the one, he's perfect. Would you come clean knowing that this is the friend that was helping you look for him, right? It's the same friend, right?
Yeah.
Would you tell her? Would you tell Sarah if you were Lori, like, hey, this is the guy? Or would you do what she did and be like,
kind of tricky, but I feel like if you were like friends, oh shit.
Wait, Crystal, you went out for a sec.
yeah, you
Oh, sorry, I'm charging now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just gonna say that if they were like legit friends,
Yeah.
like she can because it sounds like they're super close.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if we had a really good relationship, I'd just be like, so guess what the fuck? Like that's the dude
Yeah.
like that I've been obsessing for over
Yeah.
whatever year. But like I think it'd be fine if she expressed like going back within her head. So I see how in love they are, like it wasn't meant to be for us. Like I think Sarah would be understanding.
Yeah. I think it'd be better to do it right away if I was gonna do it, because I think like time definitely has a big impact. Like if Sarah finds out later, okay, you guys both knew you saw each other on the bus for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and you didn't tell me, like that adds a different layer of hurt. I think I would tell too, just because I wouldn't like not saying it. I would just be like, oh, let's put it out, and then purge it and move on.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be very good for the friendship.
That's true.
That's what,
Yeah.
that'd be more important in the moment is the friendship, because you've been friends longer than the guy.
I feel like that's more special than, breaking up over a boy.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, like if I would be like really quick to be like, oh look, this is the same guy, I want to be with him, versus like breaking up like a friendship that I've had for many, many years.
Yeah.
I think the friendship would be more valuable to me.
I think the situation would be difficult, but I think coming clean, somehow saying like, hey, can I just tell you that this is the guy, and I know this is the guy, and I know he's with you, but blah blah blah, and like talk about it, not just completely not say anything, because I mean,
Mhm.
it might affect the friendship in that moment. She's gonna be like, oh well, maybe you just want to be with him because you saw that he's cute, or what, you know what I mean? Like like all this drama
Yeah.
can start. But I feel like like you guys said, I think it's better you tell them now or in that moment than like holding off and then God
If she
forbid.
did it in front of Jack, he wouldn't have been able to deny it as easily if she was like in that moment and at the birthday party, you know, if she had said it right away, or even he had said it right away, then Sarah would have put it together herself more quickly, and you know, things could have happened differently. But since you know it was only them two, then he can say like, oh yeah, like you know, oh, she was sad and she got tipsy, so she just said this random thing I didn't know what she was talking about, or like he did in the scene, you know, he just was like, no, you're wrong, which was
Yeah,
really sad too.
yeah. Pobrecita.
Like, doesn't she realize? Because before she found him,
Mhm. Am I frozen?
she's not single, you know.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think Sarah has noticed. That's a good point.
She's in her bubble.
Mhm.
My thing froze right when he started talking, Julie. So it completely went. You're like, you said like a few words and
Sorry,
it went
Say it
black.
again, Julie.
and I have my headphone in, so it's going
No,
glitchy.
I think it's my internet connection. It just flew out.
So I was saying before, you know, she found the guy, like her and Sarah would go out looking for him, like at bars. So does Sarah realize like they're not looking for him anymore? Because I'm sure she's just not bringing him up anymore at all. But yeah, just I don't know if Sarah noticed that or if Sarah just thinks like, oh, I have a boyfriend now, so I'm not with you at a bar. Like,
That's true. Yeah, I think I imagine that maybe Lori's not bringing it up as much. But I do think Sarah's very kind and she's a good friend, but she does seem like a little bit like egocentric in some moments. So I'm not sure if she would notice right away. But they're also maybe still in the honeymoon phase, so there's that.
and then I don't his like reasoning for saying he wasn't gonna tell her that he remembers the bus thing. That, but then he kisses her. It's like,
It
what the
doesn't make
heck?
sense.
The-
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't like him.
That's I was just gonna say that. Like, obviously in the when it was that first scene when they miss each other, that misconnection, whatever. What do you call it when they put on the newspaper? Is it misconnections or something? I don't know.
Missed opportunity?
They call it something. I don't know, but I just feel like I want to root for him, but it also seems like he wants to have both, and he means well, but he's coming off like a player, and I don't think it's gonna end well.
Mm-mm.
I don't like him because of that kiss. Like, he knows he's with Sarah.
Yeah.
But he's like,
Yeah.
no, but I kind of want, like, if you do that now, imagine later, it's probably gonna happen, repeating itself. And
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like he's that smart at the moment, or possibly like more mature, because he even says like, oh yeah, like I know I'm not supposed to, but I couldn't help but look at her cleavage or something. And I'm just like, I mean, control yourself. I don't know.
And I'm not saying that like the men can't just, they're gonna see things when they're, outside of the relationship, but actually doing something, I think it's you're already
Yeah.
taking the steps towards like the wrong path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's just the phrasing. It sounds like very nonchalant. So I'm just kind of like, like I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. maybe he just really, I mean, I think he does really like both of them,
Mhm.
but he needs to figure that out because you can't
Yeah.
have both of them. He's what, 20? Do we know his age?
I don't think it says so far.
Because we found out she's 20.
She's like 24, right?
I thought she turned 23. Oh, maybe she turned 24.
Well, because I thought she said Sarah said like, oh, they don't want her. He's already has his next 10 years planned out, and he's only 24. I thought if they said something
Oh.
like that in the beginning.
When she's saying that she wants to marry him or something, right?
Yeah, it's like in the first, like I don't know, like
Oh, that's right.
30
'Cause he
pages
wanted
or
to be
something.
some sort of like star. What is this?
I feel like
Which claims
Um,
she's close. He's close to me, right?
He's what?
I feel like Lori's gonna move away. I don't know. I just feel like maybe this is too much. She's gonna move out
Yeah.
and like be
Mhm.
with her parents or something.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
He starts sneaking away to meet up with her. Just kidding, just kidding. Too much. Oh, so much drama.
But I'm kind of remembering how like in the summer book, like she had a girlfriend too, right? That she got back in touch with at the end, or which book was that one? Where they had like fight and then after they got back together. No, maybe it wasn't that book. I feel like it was though. I don't know.
When he was off in school. Is it that one?
Maybe. Oh yeah, the friend that she had a fight with, right? The one. Yeah, it was that book. You're right. I remember now. Because there was the college scene, right,
Mhm.
where he like drunkenly came onto her, and then she said no, but the girl thought she said yes, so then she like vanished that friend.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then they
eventually
were
they got
friends
back
again
together.
eventually, yeah.
Mhm.
I think that might happen.
Maybe. Like maybe Sarah walks in to the apartment when Lori and what's his face, David, are in like a
Getting-
questionable like conversation or position, and she's like, "What the hell?" But then Lori says, "Oh, nothing's happening," and then it's just like a big massive friend breakup. And Lori moves out or Sarah moves out, and then maybe later like Jack will be like, "Actually, it was me. I couldn't decide, and that's why this situation looked weird." And then the girls will get back together as friends. Could be anything.
No guy can be that honest. I feel like.
No, what?
I was like, I don't think any guy is that honest to be like, oh, it's my fault. I broke up your friendship. You just be like, oh well.
But it's a romance book, you know. They're all perfect. I'm just kidding. Oh man.
I guess you could have hope, right?
Yeah. A bitch.
I thought the part where David was getting a little bit jelly belly of the friend that was with Lori at the Grease thing was kind of strange too. I'm like, okay, you're not like with her, so you can't be jelly.
Yeah. That. I feel like towards the beginning, he was more like, I don't want to say Team Sarah and Team Lori, but I'm gonna say Team Sarah for right now.
Mhm.
Because he didn't really talk about Lori. He was more like,
Yeah.
oh, I like Sarah and this about Sarah, and she's so perfect, and Sarah. But now I feel like maybe he's realizing that having Lori around, he's getting more feelings for her, or becoming
Yeah.
more aware that
Mhm.
okay, this like love at first sight kind of thing is actually happened. And I mean, he even said that he also looked for her, right? Or kept thinking about her.
He kept thinking about her.
Thinking
Yeah.
about her. Yeah. She's the one who went looking. That's insane.
I wonder if it's like, the book's trying to say the message about like going with like the person who's perceived to be like more conventionally attractive versus like getting to know someone who's not as conventionally attractive. But I also think it's really funny that they were watching the Twilight movie and he describes it as like a terrible love triangle. And I was like, well, this is what you're in. So, don't judge the movie. I don't know. I thought that was funny. I liked that reference of that particular movie in there, but it just was the same, like such an angsty like love triangle, although the angst isn't as strong right now because we're not super far in, but I think it will get there.
That's why I don't like him. He's slandering.
Because he said no Twilight. What did he want to watch?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
He should have chosen that one.
Lori wanted to watch that one.
Oh yeah, so she went on a look with Sarah. I can't remember.
I think she had said she wanted to watch Iron Man, but she's like, I can't. Like,
I can't vote against Sarah, right?
Yeah. Which I'm like, oh, they're just so alike.
I wonder if Lori will grow to resent Sarah then, because she already has like the job in the field she wants. She now has the boy. She's like the more conventionally attractive one. Maybe Lori will have enough one day and just be like, you know what, like this is it. I don't know, because she's having a tough time applying to different places and she's not getting called back. Yeah. So it might be kind of hard to see like someone who you think quote unquote has like a more perfect life than you being super happy while you're kind of, to your own perception suffering.
Yeah.
That could be a cause of angst.
I'm also wondering if if Sarah and what's his name?
David. Oh, Jack. Why did I read David? Must be another person.
Jack. Yeah.
I just opened the book and I saw a boy name and I was like, he's David.
I wonder if they're gonna move in together because they've been dating like a year,
Oh.
I feel like that's the next step.
Oh, so maybe she doesn't move out.
That'll be a natural transition. Oh,
or he moves in, and
they all three live together.
I can't do this.
Yeah. That's hard.
I'm still trying to look for what Jack wants to do for that 10-year plan.
Radio.
Just radio?
I think you can get tenure as a radio host too, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know why in my head.
Well, I think when they were talking about it, Lori was saying Sarah has his 10-year. Like Lori was saying Sarah's planned out his next 10 years already.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that might be it.
Oh, David is the person she goes on a random date with.
Oh, and then freaking so I was like, oh, that's so sweet that Sarah was like, oh, I have this whole thing planned out for you for your birthday. And I'm like, that's kind of cute. But then she shows up with Billy. And I was like, what if you weren't trying to, kind of do a little date? Because technically that's what it was, I'm like, Sarah, I'm not a fan. What if she really just wanted to enjoy her day with her friend? And then, and I know she said she had fun and everything, but you're kind of forcing to talk to this guy. I don't know.
I think especially because it was a surprise, she probably could feel like pressure to just seem happy or, like behave a certain way versus you're just like having fun with your one girlfriend or your roommate or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad she said it was the best day ever and then it turned out to be the worst, but she actually enjoyed her time.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to look for his age here.
And then Valentine's Day, when they show up and she's just there watching movies. And then, of course, Sarah is drunk. And I was like,
Yeah, I thought that was a close call.
I thought she was going to get up and then she's going to be like, oh my God. You know, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like I feel like I'm waiting for that moment where Sarah just flips instead of being like, "Oh my gosh, I love you, friend, and I love that you and my boyfriend are besties." You know, like it's gonna come. I feel it.
I think she is perceptive at moments, especially where it was like, oh, like why does Jack not want to hang out at my house, right? But he's worried about like having interactions with Lori. Lori's trying not to be around. Like she's gonna catch on to that eventually and just be like, tell me what it really is. And she's gonna know if they're lying or not because she knows them well. I like the author's descriptions of things too. I think she's pretty funny as a writer, but also works in the angst.
Oh, he is 24. I just found it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, so they're still little.
Yeah, once he's the high flying media celeb, he's clearly on track to becoming.
Oh, does it say on the back?
No, page 24.
Oh, okay. Age 24, page 24.
Yeah. It's like I almost feel sorry for him having
So
his
it's gonna,
future mapped out for the next 10 years at the age of 24.
oh, so
Sarah.
when it ends, they'll be approximately like early 30s.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I feel like 24, like you're still like figuring out like your jobs and everything. But 34, like maybe all the characters will be like more well established because more time has passed. Maybe one of them will be ready to like enter into a different relationship than before.
More wise, I think,
More
emotionally.
mature relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Is anyone doing audiobook?
No,
I'm not.
not this time. Is it good or no?
Well, the author, like, has, British, they have the accent, which is cool,
Ooh.
but she's like kind of dramatic. I don't know. It kind of makes me miss Jeanette McCurdy and just her monotone.
Oh.
I don't know. It kind of annoys me, but just like her tone about things. It's either like, I'm so excited or like,
Do you think? Well, I don't know if she'll
to
change.
see what Paula thinks about it.
I was gonna say, do you think maybe it's because they're young and they're like, oh, so much like energy, and eventually maybe she'll tone it down? But I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. ¿Qué pasó, Crystal?
I was like, maybe she'll chill.
Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe she'll stay the same.
There are some people that are naturally like that. And sometimes when I hear those very hyper people, I'm just like, oh, why?
What are you on?
Yeah.
Lori's brother older?
I want to assume younger, but I can't remember, so I could be wrong.
Because I forgot she had a brother. I remembered about the whole sister,
Oh yeah, that was sad.
Ginny. Yeah. But then I was like, who is this Daryl guy? Oh my gosh, her New Year's resolutions. She only had 2. And then I'm like, one of them being the guy, and then the other one her job. And I understand the career one, but I'm like, really? To go look for this guy?
Yeah, that's weird because I mean she seems a pretty down to earth person when I read what she's doing and what she's saying and just like pretty funny, but at the same time I'm like, is she seeing the world through rose colored glasses or what's going on? Because I feel like there should be more. Like she can't like peg her whole life happiness on before, you know, she knew who he was. She can't peg her whole life on, well, I find this guy or not, and that's how I'm gonna be happy. Like there could be others that could make her happy.
Yeah. That seems very dramatic. Find him, my boy.
she's probably going through something
Mm.
that she feels like this guy, finding this guy is going to symbolize something else, like finding something else within herself.
Good point. I wonder if it's like because she doesn't consider everything else that she wants to be successful. Like maybe she wants a nicer apartment or maybe she wants the dream job. So she thinks that's one thing she could easily solve. Like, okay, if I find who this is and I start dating him, everything else will work out. Because sometimes people get fixated on one thing because everything else is not going good for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll like rush into a relationship, kind of like a rebound thing because of what? Because of the kiss and like rejection.
I wonder if like, I don't know, I felt like Jack was having pretty like overprotective thoughts on the dates. I wonder if like a situation like that will arrive where he has to be like a rescuer or something. I kind of hope that doesn't happen though, because I think she's already like fixated on him so much. Well, the first on 2009, the New Year resolution just says find him. So
Yeah.
she found him.
Like,
Is there
yeah.
another one?
No. I think the next one we see is the one where she's like, well, I found him. Technically.
Oh, okay. I thought there was one where she says like make him fall in love with me or something.
No.
I could be misremembering. I was really tired. When I
Did you
read.
read ahead? I was
No.
almost wanting to, but I didn't.
Dang, Julie, keeping me on my toes.
I love the resolutions. It's so cute. I was like, oh, I want to listen, but I was like, no.
She's probably gonna keep.
Oh, so you listened ahead then, because you know there's resolutions.
No, well, I was just looking at the chapters. Like it went to that chapter, but it didn't start. But I was looking like, so these chapters were really long,
Mhm.
and then like the next year, it's like more dates, and they're all shorter. So I'm like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Our next section is 2 years.
I do like the dual perspective, so I wonder if that's going to keep happening.
Yeah, I think towards the end where was it at the bar? Maybe it was at the bar where Jack said one thing and then she followed it up with her perspective. I like when it kind of just flows that way. Because in the other ones, it didn't really. It was more like, this is what I think. A few days later, this is what I think. You know?
Yeah.
Chronological.
Chronological.
Yeah. I don't know. It reminds me of this book. One of honestly my first books I read called Flipped. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
Oh yeah, I like that
Me?
book. It's cute.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's the first book I became like obsessed with. I was like, oh my gosh, and it actually flips. Like,
And it has a little chick on the cover, right?
yeah. That was. I think it was also the first book that I bought at like the school bookstore. You know those little ones that they bring up.
Yeah, the Scholastic book fair. I get to go to
Yeah,
that every year.
I think it was with my own money, and I was like, oh my god, I love it.
The first book I ever got from the book fair was Ginny B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruitcake in first grade.
Ginny B. Jones. I like that.
I think Flipped was like the first romantical book I ever read.
Oh yeah, that was me. And I became obsessed, and I was like, oh,
Since what age were you obsessed with romance, Judy?
I don't even know. Wow.
I
When
think
did
it was
that
really
book come
popular
out?
in middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
gonna
think I
say.
read that book in
I
fifth,
think
yeah.
I was still in elementary school when it came, because it was like, let's see, Flipped book. There's a second. That's a lie. What year? 2001? Shut up.
Wait, is it gonna go back in time?
No, it says it was originally published in 2001.
Got
Yes.
it.
With my year, so I'm 95. So honestly, every year matches very well with the grade I'm in. So 2001, I was in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, same for us. Yeah, but the other way.
if
you have,
I
like,
bought
the
it,
Yeah, you're
when
like
I
the
was in
tail end of
first
the year, but we're the
grade,
beginning.
oh
Mhm.
my god,
Or vice versa.
I was a romantic since then. Damn.
2001. I can imagine it.
Always.
Like with his perspective, like I wish we had his perspective at the bus stop. Like
I agree.
we know he remembers it and it was special, but like clearly it was more special for her. And then like she's kind of getting over, well, she was trying to get over him as he's like
Coming
kind
into
of
her life.
falling for her kind of now.
Good point.
The author will probably put it in at the end or like at the pinnacle or the most tense
Yeah.
part of the story.
He's probably
Like
in
he'll
denial.
tell her,
Mhm.
he'll admit it at some point.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
I think the author, yeah, she did that too, where it's like you're trying to keep the identity hidden because we didn't know what his name was. It was just Busboy. So I mean, she could have included the perspective. It was just like Busboy, you know. It's like, oh, this is this, and you're like, oh my gosh, he actually likes her, but now we don't know where he's at. That would have been cool, and I don't think it would have changed much. Honestly, it's just the mystery person. But maybe she wanted to do what she's doing right now, slowly giving us a little bit more of Jack thinking about Lori.
I mean, family history wise, I feel like since they have lost, and so far I haven't heard of like Sarah having lost, like they have more in common there, and that could be pretty powerful as well.
Yeah, you just kind of connect with, and it was his dad,
I
and
think so, yeah.
currently her dad is the one that's
Going through it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that could be a connection they have that naturally brings them closer. We'll see. We'll see. Do you think they'll get together only at the end, or will they be kind of like on and off? Or friends and then until the end? Or do we think they'll get together at the end?
I don't know.
They'll have like moments, but never be like in a relationship until the end.
Yeah. Or it could be like in Greta James where she kind of like moves on and it's like, oh, I'm gonna remember this guy, but you know, she's gonna
Solo.
just focus on herself. I think that they will get in a relationship at the end though, because it does seem like a focus on just like her wanting a happy ending so bad and so many things that are sad happening to the main character right now. Yep.
We'll see. So we read 2011 to, wait, actually only 2012. So don't read, so like stop here. Don't read 2013.
2013.
So 2 years. Let's see what
We'd
happens.
be fresh out of high school.
Imagine.
Yeah. It's an easy read. I like it.
I like it.
I was
too.
pretty hooked. I think it took like 30 pages for me to be like,
Yeah, I was too. I read it all in one sitting. And I think the book is pretty too. I like it.
Very Christmassy.
Very Christmassy.
Was it Christmas where? But yeah, you're right.
Wintry, I guess. Wintry.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
forgot that like towards the end of Christmas. Or are they met around Christmas, right?
Mhm.
December-ish, 20-some, 18.
And I got those little, I've been inspired by you, Judith, and I now finally have all these colorful page tabs, and I feel like this one matches the most.
Well, mine got destroyed because I was reading in my bed and I kind of slept on them. But
Not these. Oh, do we have the same ones? Yeah, I think so. Similar.
maybe. Did you
I
get
just
like
feel like the
big ones
colors are
too?
so pretty. No, just these, the 4-pack.
Oh no, I just got all of them with the same color.
Nice.
It
Yeah, this
should
one
look
has like a
pretty
little-
like this.
They're all
But I
neutral
slept on
colors,
it.
so
It's okay. It's my my melatonin. I literally start reading. I haven't finished this book, but I start reading one page out of this, and I was like, oh, it's so knocked out.
are you sure it's just not the book?
No, the book is interesting. Like from the start, I was like, oh my gosh. But I think it's just, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to finish it.
there's something so good that I don't want to finish them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm gonna go babies.
Good night, Crystal.
See you all next week. Read
See you
2
next
years.
Tuesday.
Good night.
Bye. Good
Night.
night.
Ow.
Toes.